Okay, so here are the oil paints, and I'm going to talk to you about which colors you need, which colors I recommend. These colors here are pretty common colors that you'll see on an oil painter's palette, and if you have all of these colors right here, you'll be able to follow along with any of the tutorials or online courses or YouTube videos, anything that I'm teaching you online. These are the colors that you'll need. So first we have cadmium red light, and this is really important for flesh tones that will mix raw sienna, yellow ochre, raw umber, burnt sienna, burnt umber, sap green, ultramarine blue, cadmium yellow medium, phthalo green, phthalo blue, alizarin crimson, sometimes it says crimson alizarin, cadmium orange, ivory black, and titanium white. Okay, so let's talk about brands of paint. Most paint brands are pretty good. I stay away from Master's Touch brand oil paints for some reason. Some of the colors just aren't true to what the rest of the brands are, especially the burnt sienna. I've had some trouble with that color not really being what it should be. So all of these brands here, I would definitely recommend to use Winsor Newton, any of the Winsor and Newton colors, and the more expensive artist brand colors are just going to be a better quality. You can see here there's Winton oil colors, and then you have over here Winsor and Newton artist color. This is also a Winton oil color by Winsor and Newton. So any of those are going to be good. These are the best. When it comes to art supplies, you really do get what you pay for. So if you're buying the cheapest, smallest tubes of oil paint, it's really not going to do you very much good. The Georgian paints by Daler Rowney are very good. I use a lot of those. Grumbacher is good. Here, this happens to be a Old Holland classic oil color, and those are very good. And so, you know, if there's some other brand out there, you can try it out. If you like it, if you think it's good, then that's great. It's gonna work. So you want to stay away from the water mixable oil paints. It's very different painting with those. I personally don't like the water mixable oil paints. It doesn't seem like real oil paint. So I just use the traditional oil paints. All right, so another thing to be aware of is when you look at the name on the tube, if it says hue next to the name in parentheses, HUE, that means that it's a color that has less pigment in it. You may be thinking, oh wow, this one's cheaper, I'm gonna get this one, but it's probably gonna say hue. And so you may be paying less for it, but you're gonna have to use more of it to get the effects that you want, because it's just made with less pigment in the paint. So you'll notice when you buy oil paint that some of the colors are more expensive than others. Cadmium red light is always one of the more expensive tubes of paint. But again, it's one of the most important colors if you're painting flesh tones. And so that's one that you have to kind of fork over a little bit more money and get the cadmium red light. And the rest of them are not so bad, and it's always a little bit expensive to kind of get started in oil painting and to start collecting all of your supplies. But it's not really bad to maintain because you're not always running out of the paints at the same time. And so that's pretty much all there is that I can say about oil paints. You can shop at your local store. You can order online. Sometimes you can find better deals online through Blick Art Materials, and sometimes you can get free shipping. So when it comes to oil paints, you just kind of have to look around and see where the best place in your area to get them. All right, so these little things are handy. While I'm talking about the oil paints, I'll show you these. These are handy to have because when your oil paint tube starts to run low, You can hook these on the end of your tube, and you can twist them, and it'll take all the oil paint and kind of shove it up right to the top there, so you can get the most out of your money and try to get every bit of paint out of that tube. So those are handy to have, and there you go. So there's the information that you need to get started with purchasing your oil paints.